Hello, friend, and welcome back. You've landed on Couch Tales, Why We Do What We Do. I'm your host, Analia, and today we're talking about something we've all experienced, at least once. Why do some people just seem to wait their turn to talk instead of listening when you're having a conversation? But before we do that, just a reminder that this is for entertainment purposes only and not professional advice. If you realize mid-conversation that someone isn't actually listening to you, I take no responsibility for any dramatic exits you might make. Anyway, you know the type. You're telling a story, pouring your heart out, and you can see it in their face. They're just waiting for their turn to talk. It's like playing verbal jump rope, and they're just hopping in at the first chance. Instead of actually engaging with you about what you said, they just launch into their own version of your story. So what's going on? Are they self-absorbed, socially awkward, just really bad at conversations? Or is it just human nature doing its weird thing again? Let's get into it. So imagine this. You meet a guy. Let's call him Jake. You've gone on 2 dates, and while there's no spark yet, you figure you'll give it some time and use phone calls to get to know each other better. One night you call Jake and you share a funny childhood story. So when I was 5, I thought I could fly. I literally tied a towel around my shoulders and climbed onto the couch and jumped off yelling, "Superman!" only to faceplant so hard I knocked out my front teeth. You pause, expecting laughter or maybe a, "Wow, that's hilarious. Were you okay?" But Jake, he immediately jumps in with an, "Oh man, I did something just like that. One time, when I was 6, I tried to rollerblade down a hill. I hit a curb, flipped over a bush, landed straight on my face, had a black eye for a week." And just like that, your story is gone. No reflection, no reaction, no, "Wow, that must have hurt." Just boom. His version of the story takes over. At first, you brush it off, but it keeps happening. You talk about your dream of traveling to Italy. He immediately goes, "Oh yeah, my cousin went last year and said it was amazing. And let me tell you about my trip to Mexico." You share a stressful work situation, and he counters with, "That's nothing. At my last job, my boss was the worst. Let me tell you." And so it goes. At this point, you're wondering, is he even listening to me? Why do people do this? Okay, so is Jake just self-absorbed? Maybe. Well, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. This behavior is actually pretty common, and psychology has some good reasons why. Number 1, the relatable reflex. A lot of people think that they're being engaging by matching your story with one of their own. It's their way of saying, "Hey, look, I understand you. I've been through something similar." But instead of deepening the conversation, they end up stealing the spotlight. Number 2, conversational narcissism. This term was coined by a sociologist, and that explained how some people have a subconscious habit of shifting focus back to themselves. Not because they don't care, but because they've been conditioned to see conversations as a way to perform, not connect. Number 3, the ego's need to prove itself. Some psychologists would say that this is a defense mechanism. Some people feel the need to prove their worth by always having a story to match yours. It's not enough for them to listen. They feel a need to compete. Number 4, impatience and the battle for airtime. Let's be honest. Some people just don't have great listening skills. Instead of absorbing what you're saying, their brain is already racing to what they'll say next. It's less of a conversation and more like a verbal game of hot potato. So, how to spot a good listener? A good listener will ask follow-up questions like, "What happened next? How did that make you feel?" Or react naturally, laughing, gasping, saying "wow" in the right moments. They will also stay in your story before adding their own. Someone who's just waiting for their turn to talk will cut in with their version before fully engaging with yours, making everything about them immediately. And they will also give off the "I'm just waiting for my turn" vibes. So, is Jake a lost cause? Not necessarily. Some people just need a little conversational training. If you want to test Jake, try this. Number 1, Pause after telling a story. See if he asks a question or just jumps in with his own. Number 2, call it out gently. Hey, I love hearing your stories, but sometimes I feel like you don't really react to mine before switching topics. Number 3, see if he improves. If he starts listening more, great. If not, well, at least you know what you're dealing with. At the end of the day, most people aren't trying to be selfish. They're just stuck in bad communication habits. But the best conversations, they come from people who actually listen. So next time you're talking to someone, ask yourself, am I really listening or just waiting for my turn to talk? Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, stay engaged, and please listen before you speak. Oh, and one more thing. If you like this episode, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and forward to a friend. Until next time.